guys, it's Diane Magnolia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my wildest dreams and goals in life. So without further ado, let's get started. I tried to kind of categorize these, but a lot of them kind of overlap into different categories, but let's start off with my career goals. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, I really want to get my degree in international relations. I've only got one semester down so far, but that's okay. With that degree, I would love to work at an embassy or as a diplomat or the United Nations or NATO, something big like that within international politics. I'd also really like to start my own nonprofit organization for something that I feel truly passionate about, with something relating to immigration, refugees, that sort of thing. I would also like to start an organization for cultural exchange, similar to the one that I went through in order to go to China. As cheesy as it sounds, I know you hear it from everyone who's done something like this. It really is so life-changing, and it helped me really realize what kind of direction I wanted my life to go in, as well as it opened me up to a whole new culture that I really didn't know much about before. And now China and the Chinese culture have such a special place in my heart, and I wouldn't have been able to go at that time if it had not been for that organization. I will link their website below. And so I really want to be able to provide the same types of experiences, but not limited to teaching English. My husband and I have a couple career goals in common, and one of those would be, we're both very much entrepreneurs at heart, and so we really want to have our own business, whether that's something that we work on together or we each kind of do our own thing and just support each other in that. But we're both very passionate about entrepreneurship. We really want to start a business that we're really truly passionate about and be able to create jobs for other like-minded people. We're also starting to invest in our retirement very early on. Most people our age don't really think about retirement too much, but obviously working in finance kind of opened my eyes up to that and how important it really is. So we're actually opening up a retirement account for ourselves, and we're going to be putting in a little bit of money each month. Our goal is to be able to retire early, not necessarily because we don't want to work anymore, but because we want to reach a level of financial freedom where we don't have to work. Our work is our passion projects. We both also want to become multilingual. I'm already bilingual, Spanish and English, and my husband is learning to speak Spanish. I've also been studying French on and off for the past little while, so I'm really going to dive deep into that. And then after that, we both want to learn how to speak at least some basic Mandarin Chinese. I know it's a really hard language. Believe me, I struggled with it when I was living in China. I can only remember maybe 5 words. It is a really hard language. It's something that we're both determined to do. We both love the culture. Aside from those languages, I would really like to be able to speak at least, some intermediate conversational Italian, German, Portuguese, American Sign Language. I know you don't speak it, but you communicate with it. And really as many languages as possible because I think they're so fun to learn. Now, on to my own personal goals. I'm looking down at this list that I wrote about 3 months ago of my wildest dreams, and the first one on the list of personal goals is to have a successful YouTube channel. And I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a success yet, but I'm really proud of myself for actually doing this. It is something that I had thinking about doing for years, and I had just always put it off because I was so afraid of what other people would think. And I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't care, but I'm just not letting it stop me anymore, This is something that I really enjoy doing. I really do have fun filming these videos and editing them and all that kind of stuff. It really is helping me kind of get out of my shell and feel a little bit more confident in myself, as well as it's helping me overcome my fear of public speaking. I know right now I'm just speaking to a camera, but it is, baby steps. Down the road, I would really also love to have my own series of travel culture documentaries. I think that would be so exciting to do. With that series, I would really like to dive deep into topics pertaining to culture, travel, history, anthropology, all that kind of stuff. And I already have a long list of ideas for that. I also really want to do yoga teacher training. Yoga is something that I have loved for years, and I'm trying to get back into it. I honestly kind of let it go for a long time, and I recently realized how much I really missed it and how much I really need it back in my life. And so with the yoga teacher training, I just want to be able to learn even more about yoga. And I don't know if I would necessarily dedicate my life to teaching yoga after that, but I would definitely like to incorporate it more heavily into my life. Along the same lines, I also want to get my cosmetology license. Makeup and hair are something that I've always loved doing. It's something that I've always had an interest in. And my mom actually went to cosmetology school, so that's one of the reasons that it's always been a big part of my life. Obviously, I'm always playing around with makeup and hair. As much as I love learning from YouTube videos and just kind of playing around, I would really love to go to an actual school and be able to study the proper techniques and refine my art. And I've also always wanted to learn about special effects makeup and aesthetics and be able to do all that kind of stuff too. I'm also wanting to get back into dance. I don't know if I had mentioned this in my previous videos, I don't think I did, but my mom is a dance teacher, and since the age of about 2 or 3, she started teaching me how to dance within her dance lessons. And I did dance for years, and it was so much fun. But unfortunately, I was in a car accident, which I can talk more about in the future, and it really messed up my back, and so for a long time, I actually couldn't dance at all. So now that my back has been doing not great, but a lot better, I want to get back into classes, and of course I'll have to be careful, but I really want to study ballroom, contemporary, aerial to help overcome my fear of heights. And also in terms of fears, I mentioned earlier that this YouTube channel is kind of a way for me to overcome my fear of public speaking. Anyways, my ultimate goal is to someday speak in a very large public forum, whether that be like a conference or some sort of TED Talk or, something like that. I do want to speak in front of a huge audience someday and really finally overcome that fear. I'd also really like to get back into voice lessons and acting lessons or improv, and I know my husband has an interest in that as well. So we're thinking we might do lessons together, which would be really fun. With acting, I would love to be in a horror movie acting as the villain. That would, oh my gosh. I don't think I mentioned this in my previous videos. I love horror movies. They are my favorite genre. Thrillers and horror movies, they are my favorite genre. Like, hands down, no questions asked. I love those kinds of movies. And I'm always so fascinated by the villains, and I know that sounds like creepy or whatever, but true crime and criminology and criminal psychology, all that kind of stuff has always been so fascinating to me, and like analyzing the villains. It really would be such an incredible opportunity to get to play the part of a villain in a horror movie, even if it's like a really crappy low budget movie, but it would be so amazing. I also really want to write at least 2 books. One would be nonfiction, one would be fiction, probably more than that. Also, for my own personal development and growth, I would really love to spend at least a month totally unplugged in some sort of meditation retreat, whether it be in Bali or India, someplace like that. Okay, now on to travel goals. My goal is to live on every continent except Antarctica for at least a year. And I want to visit every single country in the world, including Antarctica. 4 down, a whole bunch more to go. David and I also really want to live somewhere on the East Coast, ideally New York City. That would be amazing. I also really want to visit every single state in the United States, as well as every single state in Mexico. Oh, and I also really want to visit a monkey sanctuary. I know that seems random, but I love monkeys. I have held 2 in my life. One when I was in Mexico, and then another one when I was in China, and both times I was so happy I cried. So if you know of any monkey sanctuaries that are actually ethical, please comment down below and let me know. Oh, and I want to hug a penguin. I love penguins, and I have never been able to actually be like up close with one, ever. I've only ever seen them like on the other side of glass, and they're like way on the other side. I really want to be able to see a penguin, a bunch of penguins, up close and like be able to hug one. That would be amazing. Okay, last category, family goals. My family has done so much for me, and I'm trying really hard not to get emotional. I really want to be able to give back to them. I want to help my parents retire, as well as take each of my family members to at least 2 of their ideal travel destinations. So with my dad, I don't know exactly where he would want to go, but he does seem to mention places in Southeast Asia, particularly Singapore and Thailand quite a bit, so I'll take him to Southeast Asia. And he also seems to really be drawn to Scandinavian countries. He was really excited for me when I went to Iceland, and he still asks questions about it all the time, so I definitely want to take him to Iceland or, you know, wherever else he wants to go. And for my mom, I know she has mentioned multiple times that she's always dreamed of going to Spain and studying dance there, as well as going to Tahiti and studying dance there. So that would be something amazing that we could do together. And of course, if my sister Lillian wants to come too, then I would love to be able to provide something like that for them. You know, that kind of once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that my mom didn't necessarily think she would get to have. And of course, I would love to send my parents on another honeymoon to wherever they would like to go. Wherever you guys want to go, I'll send you someday. And for my little sister, she has always been very much drawn to Japan and the Middle East, and so I definitely want to take her to those places. She and I share an interest in martial arts. We've both studied it quite a bit in the past, and so I think it would be really fun to study Kung Fu in Japan with her, and obviously get to travel around the country. And she's also been trying to learn Arabic, so I really want to take her, again, somewhere in the Middle East. I know she's expressed a lot of interest in the UAE, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, so maybe we'll just tour all of the Middle East together. Okay, and that's it for my list of dreams and goals. I'm sure I'm going to think of a bunch more after this video, but I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching the video. Please give it a like and subscribe down below. I post videos every week, so you don't want to miss out. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Okay. Ooh. My shirt was all sorts of messed up. Hopefully you can't tell in the video. Oh, that would make me so sad. New York is just, oh, I got goosebumps just now. Personal development. Also, for my own personal development, I am having a hard time with that word.